To save his friend Lemon, Mash and his friends had to fight with the best representatives of the Magic Lupus group. Before the fight, Worth from Magic Lupus threatened Lance, and at that moment Lance used gravity magic, but Worth disappeared and managed to dodge with mud magic. Lance was confused and didn't realize where his opponent had gone. Vert was behind Lance with a bunch of mud clones and mobbed him. Lance used gravity magic again, but it didn't work this time either. Lance analyzed his tactics and realized that he needed to crush whoever was controlling the clones, but he couldn't defeat Vert. Worth glued Lance's feet to the floor and fired hardened bullets of dirt at him. Worth praised Lance for his strong magic and suggested him to join Lan, because a good magician like Lance deserved to be in an environment where prosperity was possible. Worth said that the future of a magician depends on his environment. If he is surrounded by garbage, he will start to stink. Worth began to humiliate the guys from the Adler dormitory and said that if Lance stayed with them, he would be at rock bottom. He believed that people should deal with their equals. If everyone you know is trash, then your level will be accordingly. Lan's dormitory has everything, the best training and the right equipment to study. It has all the conditions to reach the pinnacle of magic. Lance rejected Vert's offer to join Lan because he thought they were second-rate and slammed his opponent against the wall, but he softened the walls with mud and didn't suffer any damage. Vert was satisfied that he was able to outsmart Lance's magic, and suddenly rocks flew towards him. Lance used gravity magic and the cobblestones that resulted from his first strike flew towards Vert. Vert couldn't believe that Lance had guessed the working principle of dirt magic. Lance recalled Vert's opinion that what makes you strong is your environment. By that logic, Lance's environment is many times greater than Worth's. Worth told about himself that he is a strong mage because he was born with 2 magical markings and he is much stronger than any other person. He has been in Easton since middle school. Becoming a part of Lupus magic was inevitable for him, and it was there that he received the training only available to the chosen few. So he objectively considers himself much stronger than most, and it can't be otherwise. And he can't lose to a weakling like Lance. Vert then drank a potion to give himself strength. After that, he cast a powerful spell and summoned a huge monster. Vert began to explain that any magic has levels. First comes basic magic and then advanced magic. And he added that not even all dual linear people are able to comprehend the highest form of magic. Only a select few can use such magic. He remembered his father telling him that a person's worth in society was determined by their success and accomplishments. In a world where magic is everything, it also determines how valuable you are to the world. Only the most capable have value, and the rest are only worthy of serving the powerful. Worth felt that he had earned his position through blood and sweat and was worthy of being called valuable, while Lance was worthy of being the dregs of society, and he aimed the huge monster at Lance, but he managed to dodge and not get hurt. Lance admonished Vert for calling his friends scum. He remembered Mash's words and told Vert that only he could call his friends that. He used the torture pole magic and shackled the monster with a strong magnetic field. Each of these poles is a powerful gravity anchor that can hold even a dragon. The gravity pulled the monster in all directions and tore it apart. Vert was depressed because his strongest magic had been defeated. He remembered his father, who did not accept him because he was not among the best magicians. To his father he had no value despite Worth's striving and persistence to become one of the best. Vert only wanted to be strong to be recognized by his father. Lance tossed Vert his book that he had lost during the battle and asked him what he thought a man's value was. And told him that the first thing his parents valued was their reputation and their position in society. He remembered his sister saying she wanted to be a singer. He also said that living in such an environment one begins to believe that a person's worth is determined by their talent and position, but he disagrees. During the story, Lance remembered his sister, who supported him. Lance did not like Vert's behavior, but he respected Vert's drive to be the best. After Lance left the ring, Worth realized that he was valuable on his own and didn't need his father's respect and recognition. Mash finishing his warm-up and attacking Abyss, who dodged and took no damage. Abyss then used his speed magic to slash Mash's arm with his sword and told him he couldn't be defeated. Then he did some more damage to make Mash realize that it was better not to fight him. But Mash rejected this offer. Abyss scoffed at Mash's goal of living peacefully with his father and said that their situations were broadly similar, but their ideas diverged. He showed an artifact that would suck all the magic power out of her friend, and in 30 minutes her magic would run out, her magic mark would be gone and she would no longer be able to cast magic. Mash said he would shatter Abyss' mask if anything happened to Lemon. Abyss used the acceleration sphere and began to damage Mash with great speed, while mocking Mash's ideals. Eventually he thrust his sword into Mash's stomach, but due to Mash's strong abs he was unable to pull the sword out. Mash grabbed Abyss and blew his mask to pieces. When Mash noticed that Abyss' eye was red, he worried that a capillary had burst. Abyss explained to Mash that it was the Devil's Eye, which could seal magic. Because of the Devil's Eye, Abyss is considered an outcast in society, so Mash felt sorry for him. People have always shunned Abyss and treated him with disgust. No one accepted him, not even his parents. Also, he believed that there were some people who shouldn't have been born. Abyss used magic and created a magical dome over Mash with force arrows. This force field slowed everything but Abyss himself and gave all of Mash's speed to him. Abyss was slashing with great speed and Mash used his power, breaking the floor in half to limit Abyss' maneuverability. Mash punched Abyss and he realized he needed to stop fighting to gather his strength, but Mash stepped on his foot and wouldn't let him back up. Mash used the full power of his muscles and punched Abyss. He hit the ceiling. Mash applied non-stop punches to Abyss and eventually applied a spine straightener hold. The defeated Abyss told Mash that he often wondered how his life would have turned out if he had been born normal. He got the Devil's Eye when he was a child. His parents weren't happy about it because it denied all things divine. He was treated as badly as unmarked children. He spent his entire childhood in the basement because they wanted to hide his shame. He was given food at set times. One day his parents tried to kill him and were horrified at the creature they had spawned. So he realized that he should never have been born. Because of his failure to defeat Mash, he realized that no one needed him again, for he had failed to fulfill the leader Lana's assignment. Mash said that he couldn't imagine himself in his place because Mash's father had always cared for and protected him. Mash offered to be friends, and Abyss marveled that Mash was malleable and kind. Abyss rejected Mash's offer because his eye might change Mash's attitude. In exchange for Mash's kindness, Abyss paid him back with advice. He said Mash shouldn't go any further because Lana's leader Abel is very powerful and he doesn't spare anyone in his way. Abyss assured that when Mash had met Abel, he hadn't seen a fraction of his power. Mash thanked him for the warning, but it didn't affect his opinion. Mash still felt that he needed to talk to Abel and beat the crap out of him. He also added that despite the Devil's Eye, his attitude towards Abel would not change. That's how he was raised by his father, who has no magical powers whatsoever. The next time Mash suggested that they meet up and have some brownies.